Hare Krishna Almost done. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna. So again, on behalf of all the devotees who are gathered here, I would like to start off by thanking Siva Prabhu and Mother Vanaja and their children for again opening their doors and hearts to the devotees to come to their home today. Hare Krishna. So as we have been doing for the last few weeks, since the start of the holy month of Damodar, we will read a few more verses from this wonderful book, Hari Bhakti Vilas, compiled by Sri Sanatan Goswami. And today, we will hear about the glories of hearing the pastimes of the Lord, and that will take us into the actual pastime of the Lord that we'll be hearing today. So we'll get to know what are the glories of hearing the holy names of the Lord from Hari Bhakti Vilas, which is a compilation of quotes from Skanda Puran and Padma Puran. So the first one is, this is from the 75th verse of the 16th Vilasa. This book contains 14th to 16th Vilasa. This is a set of 6 books, and this is the penultimate set. I'm just going to read the English translation of this particular verse. Those who hear the topics of Lord Hari with great devotion in a regulated manner during the month of Kartik will achieve the merit of donating 100 cows in charity, even if they have understood only 1/2 or 1/4 of a sloka. O lion-like sage, one who glorifies the names, forms, qualities and pastimes of Lord Hari during the month of Kartik, whether for his ultimate benefit or with some material motive, will deliver 100 generations of his family. So just by hearing the pastimes, whether for ultimate benefit, which is to go back home, back to Godhead with the Krishna Prema, or even with some material motive, I want this, I want that. So again, exactly it says, even with some material motive, you will be delivering 100 generations of your family. So your father, your grandfather's grandfather, all the way back up to 100 generations according to Hari Bhakti Vilas. 2 more verses. O lion among sages, one who hears the discussions of Lord Hari during the month of Kartik will be freed from all suffering during the next 10 days or months, weeks, 10 million lifetimes. So as we know, we all live, we have gone through this 8.4 million species of life, and that could have been many millions of lives, because in one life form, especially in human life form, there are 400,000 different types of human life forms, and we may have been going through different lifespans within the human life. So that could add up to many millions of lifetimes. So here when we hear the discussions of Lord Hari, especially during the month of Kartik, we will be freed from all suffering during the next 10 million lifetimes. And one more, O sage, during the month of Kartik, if a person daily recites even a single shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yesterday we read about Bhagavad Gita. So here it says even a single shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam with great devotion, he will attain the merit of studying the 18 Puranas in their entirety. So we will not be able to actually get all the copies of 18 Puranas word by word. Even if we get it, we will not be able to study it. As we know, some of the Puranas are very long, especially Padma Puran, which is 55,000 verses, which is 78 times the size of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is only 700 verses. And Srimad Bhagavatam is 18,000 verses. So like that, you add all the 18 Puranas. 6 that are for the people in the mode of goodness, 6 that are for the people in the mode of passion, 6 that are for the people in the mode of ignorance. You add all these verses together, we may need more than one lifetime to really understand them. But if you recite even one single sloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, then with great devotion, just like Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam, with great love and devotion, when we do that, then it is equivalent to studying all the 18 Puranas. And all of us can recite one sloka. All of you know one sloka from Srimad Bhagavatam as a bare minimum. And that is Patra Pushpam verse. So this is one fascinating verse that is there in Bhagavad Gita as well as in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is in Srimad Bhagavatam in the context when Lord Krishna is visited by, who's the one who took 4 handful of Sudama Vipra. So in that pastime, when you go through it, halfway into that, Kuselar in Tamil, we say. So when Vipra means Brahmin, and Sudama Vipra goes, and in that context, Sukdev Goswami is explaining exactly the same verse from Bhagavad Gita verbatim. So why don't we say that? So we are saying one sloka of Srimad Bhagavatam today. Instead of taking one complicated sloka, we'll take this that most of us know or we have heard. Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam
Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam
Yo me Bhaktya Prayachati
Yo me Bhaktya Prayachati
Tadaham Bhakti Pakritam
Tadaham Bhakti Pakritam
Asnami Prayatatmana.
Asnami Prayatatmana.
Once more. Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam
Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam
Yo me Bhaktya Prayachati
Yo me Bhaktya Prayachati
Tadaham Bhakti Pakritam
Tadaham Bhakti Pakritam
Asnami Prayatatmana.
Asnami Prayatatmana.
Here the translation is, if one offers me with love and devotion water, fruit, leaf or flower, I will accept it. So Krishna is saying with love and devotion. Again, Lord Krishna is the owner of everything. He is not desperate or in need. He is not hungry for the little flower or a leaf or water. He is not thirsty for that. But he is looking for that loving reciprocation through us. So if we offer it with love and devotion, he will accept it. So this is a sloka that is there in Bhagavad Gita as well as in Srimad Bhagavatam in the pastime of Sudama Vipra. When Sudama Vipra goes to meet Lord Krishna with just little bit of broken rice that his wife has begged, and Krishna loved it so much that he grabbed it and he started eating it. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we read from Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so in a way desperate to take the rice from Shuklambar Brahmachari. Similar incident. So Lord Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Lord Krishna himself, they are looking for love and devotion. They are not looking for this golden plate in which opulent offering is made, and without love and devotion, Lord Krishna will not even touch that. There are many verses in Srimad Bhagavatam that confirms that. So now that we know there are so much to be had by hearing these wonderful glorious pastimes of Lord Krishna, today we will hear one pastime of Lord Krishna from the 5th chapter to the 10th chapter of the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this nicely takes us into this pastime, because yesterday in Pankaj Prabhu's house, we heard from the 1st chapter to the 4th chapter of the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now we are continuing from the 5th chapter to the 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it will be in 2 days we are covering 10 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the ripened fruit of the Vedic tree of knowledge. And when we hear this pastime, Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So we are also understanding the Anta means the end of the conclusion of Vedanta or the Vedas through these wonderful pastimes. Now, you may be wondering, I'm hearing so many pastimes, I've heard so many pastimes in my life, but I don't seem to remember all of them again. Is that fair to say? I keep forgetting all the pastimes that I hear. Maybe I know a little bit. The summary of that I may know, but all these intricate details I may not know. And the answer to that, according to our Acharyas, it does not matter. When you hear today, or any of the classes that you hear, it is doing its job. Just like you take the medicine You don't have to remember that you took the medicine. It will do its job whether you remember or not. As long as you take the medicine, it will have its effect. So here, as long as you hear the pastime, if you do not remember this pastime down the road, it's already doing its job of removing the contamination from the core of our heart. So that is the confirmation from our acharyas. And there are many, many wonderful stories that reiterate this. You may have heard this, but it's a wonderful story I would like to repeat with your kind permission. So here there was a farm in a mountain, and there is a grandfather and a grandson. So the grandson goes to visit his grandfather in the farm in the mountain, and the grandfather always recites wonderful pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam to this grandson, the little boy. Every day he repeats different pastimes to this boy, and he relishes the pastime. But after 3 months or 2 months after his vacation, he told his grandfather, "Grandfather, you are taking so much of effort to explain all these wonderful pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam, Gajendra pastime and other pastimes, but I don't seem to remember all these things. I tend to forget it." So the grandfather said, "Okay, here, we'll talk about it a little later. Take this charcoal basket and go to this river nearby. It's a shallow river, so nothing will happen to you. Don't worry. Just go and get water in this charcoal basket." So this grandson goes and he gets the water in the charcoal basket, and he comes. When he comes, the charcoal basket has got little tiny holes in it. If you remember charcoal basket, it will have holes in it, because baskets do have holes in it. It's not like a container where there's no hole. So as he's coming, water is dripping, and by the time he reached his grandfather, there was no water in that basket at all. So he said, "Grandfather, there is no water here. You gave me a basket. The water is leaking from it." Then his grandfather says, "Okay, now run and come. Go to the river. Now this time get the water fully in this basket and run and come back to me." So this boy runs and comes back to him. Almost very less water is there. More than before, but almost nothing is there in the charcoal basket. He sends him the third time. "Go this time, run as fast as you can from the river and come back to me." Comes back, again almost the same size or little bit more is there in the basket. So he says, the grandson says, "What's the point, grandfather, that I brought water? You see, nothing is there in this basket. You know, all my effort is wasted." And the grandfather said, "Now look inside the basket." So for the very first time, the grandson looked inside the charcoal basket, and there was no black mark at all. So it's cleaned from inside out. So even though it did not retain all the water, it did the job of cleaning inside the basket. So there was charcoal marks inside, but there was no charcoal marks now, because every time he went and got the water, it cleaned the inside. His aim was to collect the water, but the unintended consequence was that the inside part of it was cleaned. So our acharyas also explain that the contamination that we have, lust, anger, greed, envy, pride and illusion, will go away as we hear more and more pastimes. Just by hearing the pastimes, all the contamination go away, whether we are able to remember and keep this in our mind on a later date in the future or not. So that is especially in this age of Kali, we are in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, where our memory power is very less. It's not like in other yugas. And so that is the concession that we get, that we are getting cleaned inside out. Just like we take the medicine, whether we remember that we took the medicine or not, it will do its effect. It will have its effect. So now that we know about the glorious deeds that one get when we hear the wonderful pastimes of the Lord, especially we would like to hear the pastimes that are taken place in this glorious month of Kartik, during the month of Kartik. And today we'll choose one particular pastime. As I mentioned, it's a continuation in the chapter, but it's a separate pastime from the 5th chapter to the 10th chapter in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the essence of the Vedic literature. And the reason why we chose it is, one, because this pastime took place in the month of Kartik, and we are in this month of Damodar. And the second reason is, this is the pastime where the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, appeared in the month of Damodar. So we hope and pray that there is abundance of Lakshmi Devi appearing in this house of Mother Vanaja and Shiva Prabhu, so that they will be able, unlimited Lakshmi, so that with that you will be able to do more and more devotional service, and you'll be having more and more home programs, so that all of us can benefit from getting together in the association of devotees. And Prabhu Mataji has done so much, especially during the Govardhan Puja. I think they bought about 21 different varieties of bhoga as well. So we hope with this appearance of Goddess of Fortune today, there will be unlimited Lakshmi and more devotional practice can be followed up here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So the pastime starts, the trigger for this wonderful pastime starts as to how Goddess of Fortune appeared. There is a wonderful trigger. The trigger of this particular pastime is that there was a great saint or a Muni, and his name was Durvasa Muni. Some of you may have heard Durvasa Muni's name. He's very prominently appearing in many cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he's one of those Munis who gets angry very fast. So he's an incarnation of Lord Shiva, and he's the grandson of Lord Brahma, and his own brother is one of the expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Dattatreya. So he's such a effulgent, great personality. Just imagine, even if you have a brother or an uncle as a minister or as a, some prominent personality, we have so much power too. But here, he himself is an incarnation of Lord Shiva, and he's the grandson of Lord Brahma, and his own brother is Dattatreya, one of the expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So such was this Durvasa Muni, and he is very famous or infamous, whatever we may use, for getting angry. So here Durvasa Muni is walking along the road in heavenly kingdom. So think about it, there is also road in heaven. So he's walking along the road in heaven, and Indra is going on his elephant carrier. So all of you know that Indra's elephant is called as Airavata, but he does not have Airavata at this point in time, because Airavata did not appear yet. Before Lakshmi Devi appeared, Airavata appeared. So in this case, pastime, in Srimad Bhagavatam it says he is going on an elephant carrier, a different elephant, not Airavata at this point in time. So he's going on this elephant carrier with all his, other servants and other heavenly denizens. And as he's walking, Durvasa Muni is walking along the road, and Durvasa Muni sees him, and he takes his garland, the wonderful garland that Durvasa Muni is wearing. In happiness, he gives it to Indra. Indra takes that garland, and what does he do? He does not wear it. He puts it on the neck of the elephant. Now, Indra is such a great personality by himself. He's one of the most learned person. He is very strong, very opulent, very handsome, king of heaven. So he is intoxicated in pride, because he's got all these things. Miss World herself will have so much of pride. Just think of Miss Indra, the owner and everything of the heavenly kingdom. So he was intoxicated in pride according to Srimad Bhagavatam, and he takes this garland and he put it in this elephant. And elephant, being an elephant, is supposed to be dull and dumb. So the elephant actually threw it from the trunk down and then trampled this garland and walked away. Durvasa Muni, if he didn't see, no problem. But if that would have happened, we wouldn't hear this pastime at all. So Durvasa Muni sees that, and he saw the great garland that he was wearing, the most fragrant, beautiful garland that he was wearing, which he gave as a prasad, Maha Prasad, because this was offered to the Lord, then came to a great devotee, and that prasad was trampled on the road in heavenly kingdom by this heavy elephant, and he walked away. So immediately, Durvasa Muni, as we heard, Durvasa Muni gets angry even for nothing. Even if you do something good, he is angry. Many pastimes are there. But here in this case, his garland was trampled, so he felt insulted. So what did he do? He cursed Indra immediately to lose all the material opulence right away. You will lose everything that you have because you are intoxicated in pride. So throughout, Indra is a very special person in our Vedic literature, because Srimad Bhagavatam does not only teach us what is the right thing, but also what is wrong and how we should learn from others' mistake. So there is a history of mistakes by Indra throughout the Vedic literature, and Indra's character is very special. He's a very special devotee, he's Karma Mishra devotee, and we get all these wonderful nectarian pastimes because of mistakes of Indra. Otherwise we wouldn't have all these pastimes. So it is said repeatedly in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, do not be intoxicated in pride. We would have heard this Nalakuvaira and Manigriva pastime in the month of Damodar. They were also intoxicated in pride and arrogance. And repeatedly in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, that is the downfall of anybody. To the degree that we are humble, we will progress in spiritual life. So that is the key instruction that Srila Prabhupada is given us. So this pride can affect us even in spiritual life. We may be thinking that we are the greatest pujari or the greatest kirtaner or lecture person, but to the degree we are humble, we will progress. If that goes into one's head, that will be the downfall. So many pastimes are there. Na bhajati kumani sanam sahijyam harihara ratna dana priya rasagya sutadana kula karma na maderi vidati papam akimchane susatsu. So here it is said that Lord Krishna desires the any offering that is given by a devotee who does not possess any material possession with him. But if somebody who possesses devotional service, that is what Lord Krishna likes. If one is in this path of this respectable parentage, opulence, bodily beauty, very high education, I am a PhD, so Krishna does not even accept the offering. So a few minutes before we heard about the offering, Patram Pushpam, even if it is made in the golden platter, Lord Krishna does not accept it according to our Acharya if we don't offer it with love and devotion. So we have all these kings, great kings who are also in this platform. Even though they had everything, they had this mentality that I am nobody, I don't have anything, whatever I have is Lord Krishna's. So we have examples of Yudhishthir Maharaj, King Prataparudra, Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj is the son of Dushmanta and Shakuntala, and he is such a great devotee. Even though he was the emperor of the world, he had everything, but he realized that nothing is his, everything is Lord Krishna. So when we are in this humble state of mind, then we'll be able to progress in the spiritual life. So here, and it is also said Dana Dharma Danda. Dana Dharma Danda means too much of wealth makes one blind. Too much of wealth makes one blind. Not only wealth, but also this false prestige, false pride will make one blind and will do aparad against other devotees. So here, Durvasa Muni was a great devotee, and Indra made this mistake of not honoring the Maha Prasad. So this is a lesson for all of us to be more humble, to realize the potency of Maha Prasadam that is offered to us. So immediately he's been cursed to lose everything, and not just Indra. Indra means everybody in the heavenly kingdom. And in no time, the demons throw all these snake weapons on Indra and everyone else in the higher planetary system, and many of the demigods are killed. So yesterday in the past time we heard that in the higher planetary system, we all think that it's a great thing to go there in the higher planetary system, but King Gajendra was suffering for 1,000 years yesterday, and that is in the higher planetary system. Now more examples. The demigods are killed, not injured. It clearly says in Srimad Bhagavatam they die because of the snake weapons that are thrown by the demons. And Srila Prabhupada instructs us that there is karma kanda sacrifice. There are specific things that if one performs, you can go to the higher planetary system. So we think that's the ultimate destination, but in Bhagavad Gita it says after you exhaust your pious credits, you have to come back down. But even there, it's not pleasure from day one to the last day. You're going to have all these problems from demons and different problems you will have even in the higher planetary system. Because Krishna confirms that Brahma Bhona Loka Punaravati Mojana, from the highest planet down to lowest, all are place of misery. So many of the demigods die, some of the demigods are injured. So whomsoever is left behind, they go to the top of Mount Sumeru, which is 1 million kilometers, based on the yojanas to miles to kilometers, 1 million miles. They go to the top of Mount Sumeru, to meet Lord Brahma. Now, just like we do at our work, have a problem, if you want some help, do you go to the CEO directly or you have to go to your manager? You got to go to the proper channel. You cannot go to the highest personality directly. So they go to Lord Brahma to top of Mount Sumeru, and so when they go and meet Lord Brahma says, myself, you came with this problem, fine, but I can't solve this problem. I cannot. This is beyond my control. So myself, Lord Shiva, all of us appeared from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all other living entities are either appearing or being born from either perspiration, from eggs, from seeds, or from embryos. So these are the four things. All living entities are born from these four. Perspiration, bed bugs are supposed to be born from perspiration according to Vedic literature. Second one is eggs. From eggs, birds are born, some reptiles are born. From embryo, animals, human beings are born. And from seeds, all these trees and plants are born. So these are the four ways through which living entities appear or they are born. So all of us eventually are coming from Supreme Personality of Godhead. Let's go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and plead and ask Him to protect us from this desperate situation, or protect you from this desperate situation. So all of them go to the old shores of ocean of milk. So when they go to the shores of ocean of milk, which is Svetadweep, so they go to the shores of ocean of milk, and there wonderful Purusha Sukta prayers are offered by Lord Brahma and all the demigods. They pray to Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Kshirodakashayi Vishnu is one of the Purusha avatars. We have Mahavishnu, Karanadakashayi Vishnu, then we have Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, we have Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So the three of them are Purusha avatar. So Kshirodakashayi Vishnu is also appearing in each one of our hearts as Paramatma. So they go and they plead their situation, but he offers wonderful prayers, Lord Brahma. So in yesterday's pastime we heard how King Gajendra offered wonderful pastime, and those prayers are in line with what is there in Bhagavad Gita, what is stated in other Puranas. It's all lining up together. So we cannot pray to the, so Srila Prabhupada says we cannot pray to the Lord by our own imagination or how we want to pray. We cannot pray to the Lord, my dear Krishna, you are the greatest because you gave me an opportunity to buy a new car last week. Or, my dear Krishna, you are the greatest because you will be giving me a promotion next week. It does not work that way. So Srila Prabhupada clearly says the prayers that we should offer should be based on bona fide Acharya's prayers from before. So that's the way we need to pray. And Lord Krishna, Srila Prabhupada says the prayers that we pray in ISKCON are all bona fide. So when we chant the Panchatattva mantra, that is bona fide, coming down in the Parampara system. Same thing with the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which is also bona fide. So we should offer prayers to the Lord based on what our Acharyas have offered in the past, based on great personalities who have offered prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam. So that should be the line of us offering prayers, and wonderful prayers are offered. And there's a lot of similarity in the prayers of what Gajendra offered to Lord Vishnu and Lord Brahma offering to Lord Vishnu. Lord Brahma and the demigods are offering, starting off with, you're the source of everything. So in Bhagavad Gita also we hear aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarva pravartite idi matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. I am the source of all the spiritual and material world. And also bhoktaram ekatapasam sarva lokam maheshwaram. I am the owner of all the lokas. So here he is praying, you are the source of everything. So again, this is in line with what is said in Bhagavad Gita, which is eternal, not just what was spoken 5,000 years ago, but which was spoken 120 million years ago to Vivaswan, the sun god. So that is why if you're wondering, how come this happened before? So Bhagavad Gita was spoken 120 million years ago. And he also goes on to pray, Lord Brahma, that you are in the heart of all the living entities. Again, this is a common theme of all the prayers by great Vaishnavas in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto. You are seated. I am seated in everyone's heart. And also Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshu arjuna tisthiti. I am seated in everyone's heart. And Brahma prays, you are the illuminator of the entire cosmic manifestation. What is illuminator? That is also it's bona fide, because in Chaitanya Charitamrita we read, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Aya Andakara Yahan Krishna Taha Nahe Yare Adhikara. So here it is said Krishna is like the sun and Maya is like darkness. Whenever there is sunlight, there is no darkness. And the last verse in this Chatur Sloki in Bhagavad Gita, I'm just saying, these are all connected with each other. So these prayers are bona fide. The 11th verse of the 10th chapter, which is the 4th verse of the Chatur Sloki verse. Tesam evanu kampartam aham ajnana jamtamaha nasayam atma bhavasto jnana deepena basvata. Deepa means light. So with the light of knowledge I destroy the darkness of ignorance. We also pray Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namas. Even spiritual master opens. So here Lord Brahma is saying, you're the illuminator of the entire cosmic manifestation. So wonderful prayers. He goes on to pray many verses, many prayers are offered, and then Lord Vishnu appears. And it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, how he appears is that he appears like 1,000 suns appearing at the same time. If you can just visualize one sun in the midday, when you look at it, how bright it is, 1,000 suns are appearing at the same time. Lord Vishnu appears with this blackish blue complexion, which is with this yellow color dhoti. All the wonderful descriptions are given. He's got with a pristine smile and effulgent cheeks with the Kastuba jewel. The Lord appears in front of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, all the demigods. And just because Lord appeared, Lord Brahma did not stop praying. They continued to start praying. Just like we can get fire from wood. We can't see that there is fire inside the wood, but then there is fire inside the wood. Just like we get milk from the cow. When you see the cow, it doesn't look like she's got milk, but then there is milk inside the cow. Just like we can get grains and water from earth. Similarly, through devotional service or bhakti, we can obtain you. So wonderful prayers Lord Brahma is offering. And he's also praying that how the elephants who are struggling or caught in the forest fire, and then suddenly when they are running to escape from the fire, and they are seeing this beautiful Ganges flowing nearby, how they run and jump into the Ganges, cool water of Ganges. Similarly, the demigods who are actually tormented by the attack of these demons are now so happy to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Wonderful analogies are given in this wonderful prayer, bona fide prayers. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead speaks to the demigods. And he speaks in a voice, it is said, as deep as the rumbling of clouds. So this is a very common theme in Srimad Bhagavatam. As deep as the rumbling of clouds. Whenever Krishna speaks, many times. One in the 43rd chapter of the 10th canto, this is the killing of the Kuvalayapida, the elephant. So Lord Krishna speaks to the elephant keeper in the same voice. Meha Gambiraya Vacha, Megha Niradaya Vacha, it says. So this means as deep as the rumbling of the clouds. And he speaks to Indra after the Indra Puja in the same voice. He speaks to Muchukunda after Muchukunda offers wonderful prayers in the same voice. When some of the cows that Lord Krishna takes, they wander off, Lord Krishna calls them in this voice as deep as the rumbling of the clouds. So he speaks in this voice as deep as the rumbling of the crowd. Again, Megha Gambiraya Vacha or Megha Niradaya Vacha, it is said. And he says, make truce with these demons for a higher cause, for the higher purpose, make truce and churn the ocean of milk using Mandara mountain as the churning rod and Vasuki as the snake. And he gives wonderful instructions that are applicable to each one of us. Even though we are not churning the ocean of milk, we'll get to know how this applies to each one of us. Would you like to get the instruction that Lord Krishna is directly giving each one of us? Through this instruction to the demigods, he is giving us. Churn the ocean of milk with undiverted attention. Okay, I'm going to ask you, all of you in the end, what were the instructions of the Lord when we connect this to something else in the end. Churn the ocean of milk with undiverted attention. Do not be agitated by anger. Twice he says, Lord Krishna is advising Lord Vishnu. Do not be agitated by anger. Have patience and peace when you are churning the ocean. And fourth, do not get scared. Do not fear when poison comes out. And do not be greedy when wonderful things come close to you. Okay? Churn the ocean with undiverted attention. Do not be agitated by anger. Have patience and peace. Do not fear when poison comes out. And do not be greedy when wonderful things come to you as well. So again, pack it and keep it with, put it with a ribbon and hold it there. We'll come back to this later on. And then Lord Vishnu also advises the demigod, use the snake and mouse logic. It's a very crafty logic, snake and mouse logic. It is coming directly from Vishnu. It is not in the purport. Directly from Vishnu, it says, use the snake and mouse logic. What is the snake and mouse logic? So because the time is favoring the demons, so Lord Vishnu is advising the demigods, use the snake and mouse logic. And Prabhupada in the purport explains the snake and mouse logic. Once there was a snake and a mouse that got caught in a basket. Snake could not escape, mouse could not escape. Now, who has the better chance of making a hole in the basket? Mouse. But the snake, if snake is hungry because both of them are trapped. If the snake in his hunger, if he eats the mouse, he's going to be dead also in few days' time because he can't get out. So they planned. The snake was very smart. So the snake said, "My dear mouse, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to eat you. Please make a nice hole for you to escape, and behind you I will escape, and both of us will escape." And this poor mouse nicely made this big hole, and then when the hole was big enough for the snake to escape, snake ate the mouse and quietly escaped too. So this is an instruction given by Lord Vishnu to the demigods directly. Use the snake and mouse logic because the time is favoring the demons. And then the Lord disappeared. So Indra and many of the demigods with a broken leg and broken arms in this fight, they all now go to Bali Maharaj. Because for them to churn the ocean of milk, they don't have enough power to do that by themselves. Nor the demons have the power to churn the ocean of milk by themselves. So they have to have a teamwork here. So remember the snake and mouse logic. So here Lord Vishnu said, you be the snake in the snake and mouse logic. But they go to Bali Maharaj and they say, why don't we churn this ocean of milk? You are ruling this planetary system, but you can't live forever or for a long period of time. But when we get this nectar from this ocean of milk, you can live for very long period of time. You can continue to rule and enjoy this extremely long life, almost eternality. So why don't we churn that together? And at that time when they were talking, all the demons came and tried to kill the already broken leg, and all these demigods are going, limping and going. They were about to get killed. But then Bali Maharaj stopped all of them because of the code of ethics in the warfare. You cannot kill an enemy when there is no fight. Even in this Kurukshetra war, we know Kauravas and the Pandavas, in the evenings they don't kill each other, they are friends. So here it's no. There is code of ethics. My dear demons, you cannot kill. They just came to talk to us. And then Bali Maharaj stopped and he heard all these wonderful things. Yes, churning the ocean of milk to get the nectar, we can live forever. And then he's thinking of the snake and mouse logic as they being the snake, the demons. Because they're thinking these demigods are all weak, with every body part of them are broken. So we need their help to churn the ocean of milk. But when we get it, we will kill the mouse and we can get everything. We don't need to give them any nectar. So both of them are thinking in terms of being a snake here. And so they go. So they go to Mandara mountain. So yesterday in the pastime of King Gajendra, we heard about a mountain called Trikuta mountain. And the Trikuta mountain is 80,000 miles high and 80,000 miles wide. This Mandara mountain is exactly the same 80,000 miles high. 10,000 yojanas multiplied by 8 miles, 80,000 miles high. Now 80,000 miles high, and Prabhupada says this mountain is made of gold. How do we know that this mountain is 80,000 miles? We have to go back to the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That explains, and it's made of gold. Now all these demigods and demons are very, very powerful personalities. They go there, they try to lift this Mandara mountain because it's so heavy, and gold is more heavier than stone. Regular mountain is made of stone, but gold is heavier than stone. They are unable to carry it. After they carrying it for some time, it falls on top of them. Again, many demigods die, and demons too. They die. Many of them get caught underneath this heavy mountain. Hand is broken. They are all struggling. They leave the mountain halfway. And what do? They pray to the Lord. And what does it say in Bhagavad Gita? Ananya chintayanto mam ejana paripasite tesam ittana yoga shemam aham. So here it is said, for those who worship me with exclusive devotion and meditate on my transcendental form, I carry what you lack and preserve what you have. So carry what you lack. Here they don't have the strength to carry this mountain. So Lord, they pray to the Lord, and Lord Vishnu appears there on Garuda. And what does Lord Vishnu do? Effortlessly, it says in Srimad Bhagavatam, he lifts it with one hand. Now, all these demigods are trying. So he effortlessly lifts this golden mountain, which is 80,000 miles high, in one hand. Now when we think about it, it should not be a big problem for Krishna, right? Because when he was 7 years old, he's able to lift Govardhan hill for 7 days and 7 nights. But the fascinating point here is, he takes this mountain in one hand and he places it on Garuda. So now Garuda is holding this mountain all by himself. And Garuda is a representation of Lord Krishna. And another reason why we chose this wonderful pastime is that, from the 34th chapter of the 34th verse of the 9th chapter and the 65th verse of the 18th chapter, Krishna almost explains the same thing twice. Manmanabhav madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskar. Always think of me or remember me, become my devotee, worship me and offer obeisances unto me. So in this pastime, we always have to think about Krishna. Why? In the same pastime, there are 2 incarnations of the Supreme Personality of God appearing. I don't think so there's any other pastime where 2 incarnations appear in the same pastime. And then there are 4 more incarnations of the Lord also in the same pastime. Kshirodakashai Vishnu we already heard. And then there will be one more called Ajita. Ajita means unconquerable one. There is one more personality of God with 1,000 arms who will hold this mountain. And also Mukunda, who will marry goddess of fortune in the end. And so we have 2 plus 4, 6 so far. There's 9 more representations of Lord Krishna. How do we know these 9? So I'm going to give you the name. Indra, then Brahma, Bali Maharaj, then we have Garuda, then we have Vasuki, then we will have Surabhi, then we'll have Uchchaishrava, then we'll have Airavata, we'll have Lord Shiva. This is 9. And how they are all representations of Lord Krishna? Because Krishna says so in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and again he repeats in the 16th chapter of the 11th canto in the Uddhava Gita. He almost repeats the same thing. I am amongst the sages, I am Narada, I am the demigods, I am Lord Brahma. So exactly the same thing he repeats almost twice, except Bali Maharaj, he does not repeat it in the 16th chapter of the 11th canto, but he explains that in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So wherever we turn in this particular pastime, you will hear about Krishna. Either Lord Krishna or avatars of Lord Krishna or representations of Lord Krishna. So Garuda is non-different from Lord Krishna, and he is effortlessly carrying this Mandara mountain that all the demigods and demons combined together could not carry. Effortlessly the Lord brings Mandara. He carries all the demigods back and he make them sit on Garuda as well. And he brings all the dead demigods back to life, all their broken arms and everything, no more, that fracture wrap or whatever, no, everything instantaneously cured. And all of them are brought to the shores of the ocean to start journey. And immediately, Lord Vishnu sends Garuda away. Can you please go, sir? Why? Because they are going to bring Vasuki the snake. And Vasuki is a natural food for Garuda. So they send Garuda away first, and then they bring Vasuki from the lower planetary system. Patala is where Vasuki resides. So Vasuki comes there, and then Vasuki is tied around this Mandara mountain. The demigods are in one side near the head of this Vasuki, and near the tail side, all the demons are forced to stand there. And what did the demon say? Excuse me. We are all from high birth. We are all very highly qualified and educated. This tail end of Vasuki is a very inauspicious side. Inferior side. All of you come to the back of the snake. We are going to the front of the snake. We have to catch the front of the snake. Ajita is one of the expansions of the Lord. He says, no problem. All of you come. But remember, the reason why he went to the front of the snake, you will get to know in the next few minutes. So all the demons come to the front of the snake. All the demigods go to the back of the snake. And then they are ready to start churning the ocean of milk. Because Lord Vishnu has already said, in the ocean of milk, there is already creepers and different herbs and grass and everything else is there. All you have to do is churn and get the nectar. So they start. So already the Lord helped them the first time by carrying the mountain. Otherwise there is no churning of ocean of milk. Now start counting the number of times the Lord helps. So first time the Lord helped in carrying it in one hand and putting it on Garuda, bringing all of them back to life and starting them to churn. And then Ajita went to the back and all the demons come in the front. Now they start churning. Immediately the nectar should come. No. What happens? The whole of mountain goes down because there is no base. Now you can think this mountain was 80,000 miles in height. So let's say 40,000 miles is about, this is our guess, okay? So part of the mountain is facing up above the water and half of the mountain is facing down. So just imagine, even if 40,000 miles is down, how deep is this ocean of milk? It's not resting on the bottom, still it's floating, and because there is no balance, this mountain, Mandara, is off balance because there is no base for this, for the mountain to rest. And they are all again praying to the Lord in a helpless condition, and that's the time when the second Leela avatar of the Lord, that is Kurma avatar, Lord expands as Kurma and he expands as a big island. In Srimad Bhagavatam it says he expands as a big island, 800,000 miles long. 800,000 miles. So that means it could either be this Mandara mountain is also 80,000 miles wide, but still it is resting on a smaller island like the back of the tortoise, or it could be much smaller. So because here it says 80,000 miles high, it does not say how wide it is. But Kurma avatar was 800,000 miles wide, like a big island. And then when they started churning, the Lord felt nice scratching sensation when it is churning of the mountain. He felt like nice scratching, when you scratch somebody's back. So the Lord expands as this Kurma avatar. That's the first avatar. So the Lord saves them for the second time. First time when carrying, second time in forming the foundation for this mountain to rest so that the churning can continue. So they're now wonderfully churning. Demigods on one side, demons on another side. Now what happens? Snake, Vasuki is almost dead. Even though Vasuki represents Lord Krishna in this pastime, the snake is unable to do this massive work here. We're talking about 80,000 mile high mountain and all the demigods on one side, all the devadas on one side. One is pulling the tail, one is pulling the head side, and the Vasuki is almost unable to do anything. So the Lord helps for the third time by entering into the demigods, entering into the demons, entering into Vasuki in the mode of goodness, passion and ignorance. Now they all get the vigor now. Now they are all again so strong to continue to churn. So 3 times the Lord has helped so far. Then they start churning. Now what happens? So the Lord is at the bottom. The Lord is within the body of all these demigods, demons and Vasuki. Now the mountain has got a nice base, but the top is wobbly. The top is going all over the place because there is no support on the top. What do? They are unable to churn the way they want to churn. So they pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead again. Now the Lord appears in a form with 1,000 arms. So the name of the Lord is not described in Srimad Bhagavatam because Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of forms of the Lord. Just like we cannot count the waves of the sea, we cannot count the number of incarnations of the Lord. So here the 1,000-arm form. 1,000-arm form means, just imagine the Lord is holding the top of the mountain. So the mountain is 80,000 miles high. For the Lord to hold the top of the mountain, just imagine how tall the Lord would have assumed his form to hold the top of the mountain. And now, so the Lord helps for the 4th time. So now the churning is going on. The Lord is at the bottom in the Kurma avatar. The Lord is at the top in the form of thousand-arm form. The Lord is within the body of the demons, demigods, and Vasuki, and the churning is continuing. Vasuki's got so much vigor and strength, and so much power is going on. All these demons and the demigods have got so much power. When they're churning with so much force, there's so much of fire emanating from the 1,000 mouths of Vasuki. So much fire. And guess what? Who's near the mouth of the Vasuki? Demons. They are the ones who said they are all from high birth. It's very inauspicious, the tail, and they are the ones who are suffering. They're dying. And it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, they look like burnt pine trees. In a forest fire. Forest fire, how does the pine tree look like? Nothing, no leaves, nothing. So they're all dying there. And even if they die, demigods need their help to churn from the other side. So they all pray to the Lord again, Lord, please help us. And the Lord sends beautiful clouds there, and from there thunder showers are pouring, and then that cools. It puts out the fire that is coming from the mouth of Vasuki. The rain puts out all the fire, and these demons are all coming back to life, and they're able to do what they need to do because the fire is put out. If they had first followed and stayed in the back, the demigods they may not have been affected by this. So the Lord helps them for the 5th time so far. Now the churning is continuing. And now what happens? In spite of the demigods and the demons churning, nothing comes out from the ocean of milk. Nothing, zero, nothing came out. Because Ajita, the unconquerable one, is in the back end still, but he did not churn so far. So this is very important part of this pastime and how this is applicable to us. Finally, when Ajita starts pulling the Vasuki, the snake, and starts churning, then things start coming out. We'll hear what the things came out. But then our acharyas tell us that Ajita, the unconquerable one in this age of Kali, is in the form of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We should also churn our ocean of our consciousness with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to get the pure love of God. Pure love of God is represented by the nectar that these demons and the demigods were trying to get out. So we should churn the consciousness of our heart with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and the representation of Hare Krishna of Ajita is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar Nama Aityaya Sarva Jagat Nishtar. In this age of Kali, Lord Krishna is incarnated in the form of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So now they start churning. When they start, we have some more time?
How long you need? Lots of time.
Nobody is in a rush to...
Prabhu, you are churning, Prabhu.
Churning, we are waiting for the Amrita.
What is the point in laboring if you don't get the nectar, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So they start churning now. Ajita starts pulling the part of this snake, Vasuki, and they're churning. So the Lord is on top as the 1,000-arm form. Lord is at the bottom in the form of Kurma. Lord is in the body of the demigods, Demon and Vasuki, the mode of passion, goodness and ignorance. And the Lord is also in the side pulling this. So how can you go wrong? You got everything now to get the nectar. What comes out first? Before poison, something else comes out.
Amen.
So what comes out first is crocodile. This crocodile is chasing us from yesterday, is that not right? Or the Gajendra. So crocodile, deadly crocodiles come out, deadly alligators come out from the ocean of milk, deadly cobras come out from the ocean of milk, deadly timingalas come from the ocean of milk. Timingalas are whales that eat smaller whales. So huge whales. So all these come to the surface when they're churning. They are hoping to get the nectar, but what they get is all these unwanted things. And our acharyas explain these alligators and these crocodiles and these snakes and these timingalas are all our material desires. Because once we start chanting sincerely, we are ignoring our material desires, right? We are indulging in all our material activities like before we come into Krishna consciousness. But when we are into Krishna conscious, we are ignoring. So all these material attractions are submerged in our consciousness. When we ignore them by chanting, when we are churning, they are all coming to the surface to attract us again. Hey, I'm here, I'm here. So our acharyas tell us, you are trying to get pure love of Krishna, which is the Krishna Prem, which is this pure nectar. All these small things will come. Do not fall for it. If you digress and fall for it, you lose the bigger one. So what do the demons and the demigods do? They ignore it. They keep on churning. And then comes what? Nectar? No. What Mataji said. The next, what comes is diametrically opposite to what they wanted comes. What they wanted was nectar. The whole effort was put to get the nectar, but what they are getting next is opposite. Opposite to nectar is poison. So deadly poison comes, and this deadly poison in Srimad Bhagavatam, it explains that it is hala hala or kala kuta poison, and this poison is not like whatever poison that we may have heard. And it is said that this poison was expanding to all the 3 planetary systems. It was going through all the 3 planetary systems, not just little poison. It's expanding, and everybody is going to die because of this poison. And what Lord Krishna does in the form of Lord Vishnu, when all the demigods approached him, go and approach Lord Shiva in Kailash mountain. He is the only one who can solve your problem. Because Lord Krishna always has this desire to glorify the greatest Vaishnavas. And in the 12th canto, we get to know Vaishnavanam Yatha Sambhu. So here they go to Lord Shiva and they say, Lord Vishnu sent us. You are the only person who can protect us. And what does Lord Shiva do? Bhavani, can I go? So he's asking permission from his wife. So again, it's lesson learned when we are in the
because he's going to drink poison. Yeah? Permission.
So he gets he gets the permission from Bhavani according to Srimad Bhagavatam, and she says, yes, this is so important, you have to do. And Lord Shiva says, if he pleases Lord Vishnu, then everybody is pleased. Yatataro Mula Nishchanena Triptanti Tatskanda Vajopasaka. When Lord Krishna is pleased, everyone is pleased. And Lord Shiva voluntarily goes through this pain in one way for the benefit of others. And it is said in the purport that the greatest way to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead is to go through this voluntary pain for the sake of others, so that others do not have to suffer. So, Paradukka Dukhi, it is said, Lord Shiva is the personification of compassion. There can be nobody more compassionate than Lord Shiva. So just to save everyone, Lord Shiva drinks that poison. He compresses the whole poison that was spreading through the 3 universes into one palmful, and he starts drinking that. Even now we see Lord Shiva with a blue mark in his neck, which is the mark of poison. It's like the necklace that he's got, Nilakantam. So he drinks, and then in Srimad Bhagavatam also it is said that when he drank, few drops of poison fell down, and scorpions and cobras drank that, and that's how they get this poison, it is said. And Prabhupada in his purport also says that some of the mosquitoes and jackals also drank this leftover poison, and that's how they have the poison. So he drinks all these poisons. So they continue to churn again, because now there is no poison anywhere. So first came Timingala and everything represented by the material desires. When we keep chanting more and more and more and more to get pure love of God, what we get is all these material desires who are all submerged, who are all coming to say, hello, I'm still here, please get attracted to me. We ignore that, then the opposite of what we want comes out, all this poison comes out. And what is this poison? Our acharyas explain they are lust, anger, greed, envy, pride and illusion. All of us have this in different degrees. We may not have this in this much, but this will be small, but this will be this much. So we have to remove that. And when we get initiated, it is said that our spiritual master in the form of Lord Shiva takes our lust, anger, greed, envy, pride and illusion. So they continue to churn. So first they ignored the Timingalas, second is the poison was taken care of, Halahala or Kalakuta poison, and then they continue to churn, hoping they're going to grab this nectar. What comes next? The temptations. All the temptations come when we chant. All the temptations come. More you chant, now all the good things start coming. So that these are subtle way to pull us. Forget the chanting, come here. Wonderful women or money, Lakshmi, everything comes. Beautiful things in our life. It said Uchchaishrava the horse. Maybe in Kali Yuga it is the beautiful Mercedes Benz the car, and similar things come our way. Forget about chanting, go in this one. So then they start churning, and first comes Surabhi the cow, which is called Surabhi the cow comes, which gives wonderful ghee and butter and milk. Havirdani it is called. So it is beautiful. Surabhi the cow comes, and then they don't stop. They were going for this nectar. Just because the beautiful wish-fulfilling cow comes, they didn't stop. It's a wish-fulfilling cow. Just imagine how tempting it is. Maybe they could have stopped and said, "Now the cow, can you give us this nectar?" She may not have been able to give, but they didn't stop. They continued to churn. And then comes Uchchaishrava the horse, and this horse is supposed to be as white as the moon, and it's got 7 heads. So we know about this analogy in Bhagavad Gita. 5 horses are there, which is comparable to the 5 senses. But here one horse has got 7 heads. Beautiful horse, as white as moon. They don't stop. They continue to churn. What comes next is Airavata. So in the beginning we heard that it is some other elephant, not Airavata. So Airavata is just appearing now. How many tusks he's got? 4. Usually elephants have 2 tusks. This Airavata has got 4 tusks, as beautiful as Kailash mountain. And Airavata comes, and then next they continue to churn. Then comes 8 male elephants headed by Airavana. There is a great elephant, and these elephants can move in all directions, it seems. All 10 directions they can move in any way they want. Then comes 8 female elephants headed by Abramu. There's a name given, Abramu. There's wonderful pastime of this elephant elsewhere. So this Abramu appears. Then comes Kastuba jewel, that Lord himself took it, Kastuba jewel. Then comes Padmaraga jewel. Then comes Parijata, the celestial flower, which is also wish-fulfilling flower. After
Pundamalli. Some Malli.
in Srimad Bhagavatam, these are the things, right? In the same order it comes. So after Parijata, then comes no, not yet. Lakshmi still didn't come. So after Parijata comes the Apsaras, the beautiful heavenly damsels. They come, and then comes as the 10th, goddess of fortune appears, and many verses about how goddess of fortune appears with a garland, trying to look for the suitable match. And this person is so strong, but he's got lusty desires. This person is so highly qualified in Vedic literature, but he's got some other disadvantage. And she found only Mukunda as the most suitable candidate for her, who was perfect in all aspects. So that is the when we talked about 2 incarnations in the same pastime. So we heard about Kurma, and then we heard about 4 more. And in that 4 more, Shirodakashayi Vishnu was covered already. Then it was Ajita, unconquerable one, who started churning and everything started coming. Then it was a 1,000-arm form on the top, was holding Mount Mandara. And then the last, the 6th of this incarnation was Mukunda, and goddess of fortune marries Mukunda. And this wonderful explanation of how different personalities gave different things for the marriage. And it is also said, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his purport says that this Lakshmi is not the Lakshmi who is eternally in the heart of Lord Vishnu. So this is the second expansion of Lakshmi, because we may be thinking Lakshmi is always in the heart of Lord Vishnu. How come she's appearing only at this time? So before this pastime did not happen, then Lakshmi was not there with Lord Narayan. So the wonderful explanation is given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It's an expansion of Lakshmi who appears from this ocean of milk. And then appears Varuni, the liquor. And then finally, who brings the nectar? Dhanvantari. He's a plenary expansion of the plenary portion of the Lord. He brings in a pot this nectar. Finally, he brings this nectar. And remember the snake and mouse logic? So even the demons thought, the demigods are weak. So when the nectar finally comes, we can kill them and take that and drink the nectar. So as they snatched this nectar from Dhanvantari is a plenary they took the nectar, and all the demons were about to drink, and that's the time when the demigods again prayed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Lord appeared as Mohini Murti, the most beautiful woman in the whole universe, and she bewilders the demons and actually gets the nectar from them. They did not know what is going on, what hit them. She just nicely takes this nectar and gives it to the demigods to drink. In one way, when you think about it, the demons and the demigods are brothers. All of you know, I think, right? Demons and the demigods are brothers because they are the same father, but they are coming from Diti. All the demons are coming from Diti, and all the demigods are coming from Aditi. So this is like a fight between the brothers. So then there is also a pastime how Ragu and Ketu, who are considered to be demons, they dress themselves up as demigods, and they also get their share and they drink. And then the Lord releases this chakra and he cuts their neck. But then because they drank and the nectar did not go down, they are just cut off here. So this part, the head parts, lives almost eternally. But it's not eternal, because it is said anybody cannot live permanently, eternally in this material world. But they get extended period of life. Only when we go to Vaikuntha,
It says Trishanku, no? Especially they were there neither on the higher side nor on the down. It is there in the middle.
In the middle.
Trishanku.
There's one wonderful pastime about Trishanku pastime as well, which we can hear another day. So this nectar was finally given to the demigods. So we heard about, when I said put a ribbon and hold that instruction of Lord Vishnu in the beginning. What did he say? Churn the ocean with undiverted attention. So now we come to the conclusion of this, or the lessons to be learned from this churning of ocean of milk. So here our acharyas explained, just like the ocean of milk was churned with Mandara mountain and Vasuki the snake, but things started happening only when Ajita started churning. So our acharyas teach us that we should churn our consciousness with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and Ajita's incarnation in this age of Kali is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And where was this nectar? Nectar was not anywhere outside to be had. Nectar was within the ocean of milk. Like that, the love of God, our acharyas tell us, is within us. It does not have to come from any other outside source. But what needs to be done is you need to separate. There have to be unwanted things needs to be taken out first. So what were the unwanted things that had to be taken out here? One is we'll have to be watching out for all the material desires that are submerged. That will come. You cannot get attracted to that and lose sight of the big picture of chanting and getting the love of God. So when we are able to control our mind from these material desires, and all our lust, anger, greed, envy, pride and illusion should be taken out from our consciousness before we get this. Then, because as a result of our chanting, all these wonderful things come out. Lakshmi, money will come, a lot of money will come. Don't get attracted to that. All the beautiful things will come in the form of many things like Uchaishrava, Airavata, Surabhi and Urvasis and Rambas, and all this will come in our life. Do not get sidetracked. Keep chanting. It says, Nitya Siddha Krishna Preme Sadhya Kabunai Shravanadi Suddha Siddha Kare Udaya. The pure love of God is all within us. It does not have to come from any other source. But by chanting and hearing, we get purified and we can get that dormant love of God resuscitated in our heart. So this is a wonderful instructional pastime from the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, from the 5th chapter to the 10th chapter. What we heard is just in summary, but it's got many glorious verses, and it's a nice continuation. The baton was passed off from the 4th chapter to the 5th chapter, from this Gajendra pastime to this wonderful churning of the ocean of milk pastime. And this
From 9th line to here.
from 9th. So this wonderful pastime is instructing us that when we chant, we will also have a lot of distractions and side attractions, but we should not let our focus go and focus on our chanting. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.
Need any questions or something?
Any questions?
But while Lord Shiva was bringing the poison, the Parvati, she went there and grabbed the neck of his...
It is said in another Purana, but in Srimad Bhagavatam it does not explain about Bhavani, because that's the term that is referred to. It does not explain that feature of it, but that's why we have the other Puranas which continue on few other aspects of the pastimes. Good question.
Stuffs are coming, yes, and this would come only for a certain period, or it would come always?
No, according to our acharyas in the beginning stages, it depends on the focus that we have in our chanting, and we should expect it. Our acharyas are telling us that we should expect it, because when you come into Krishna consciousness, and then we should expect this to come, because it is always there. It's been in the core of our heart for 8.4 million species of life that we have been in. So when we chant, it's like when you churn, all the bad things come out. It has to come out. That means your churning is good. When our churning is good, bad things come out. If they don't come out, then we are not chanting good enough, hard enough. The quality is not good. So the focus, if it is there on chanting, then the bad things will come to surface. When it comes to surface means it's the end of it. It's coming out forever.
It's drained out.
It's drained out. You're pulling them out. So we are all in different stages, different grades, different containers of halahala poison is coming out. For some of us it's very less, some of us it's more, and some challenges also take place when we are chanting. What we should expect even bad things to happen. Just because we start chanting, we cannot expect perfection in our life as well, because we are in this material world. Certain things we have to go through troubles, just like it is said, the caterpillar as well, right? Caterpillar will have to struggle to extricate itself from the cocoon. There was a story, nice story, a small boy, when this caterpillar was trying to struggle to come out of the cocoon. Tamil enna prabhu? Caterpillar enna Tamil? Yeah, so அது வந்து only way for it to be strong, அந்த நல்ல அந்த ரக்க அதுக்கு வளரணும்னா அது இந்த cocoon கஷ்டப்பட்டு பிரேக் பண்ணிட்டு தான் வெளில வரணும். So one small boy thought, let me go and help this caterpillar, let it not struggle. So he went and cut that, right? And this caterpillar fell down. The wings were so weak and it fell down and almost died. Now if he was struggling for a few more minutes, then his wings would have been so strong and it would have soared so beautifully with this wonderful colored wings. But here this boy thought, let it not struggle. So all of us have to go through certain hurdles, certain struggle for us to get purified, for us to learn from our mistakes as well. So just because we are chanting, we cannot expect everything to be perfect. So we have to go through some portion.
Okay, I have one more question. If you see the Nephi devotees, the beginners, so they always stuck with one round or two rounds, sometimes go 6, 5. How they can increase the rounds? How they would get the taste of chanting? Sometimes they don't feel like chanting. Yes, they don't want to chant. So how we can?
So we have senior devotees who can answer, but one thing that comes to mind is from Padma Purana. It is said, any offense that we make against the holy name, as we know there are 10 offenses to the holy name, and when we make the 10 offenses, the solution to that, or a pariharam for the offense that we have made, is to chant more rounds. And it is also said, for us to get taste to chant the holy name, we have to chant more names. So solution to chant more names is to chant more names. So forcibly we'll have to chant, then we get the taste. So for us to get the taste, we have to go through this forcible process of chanting more rounds. And of course association of the devotees. When a small boy is associating with 2 or 3 of his classmates who are last in the class, so he'll be okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm not last, I'm last but one. So that will be his satisfaction level. But then if the same small boy is hanging around with person who are getting grade 1st rank, 2nd rank, then he will also be in. So again, association of devotees. When we associate with devotees who are chanting more rounds, chanting with more vigor, chanting with love of God, then we can also chant more. So again, the association of devotees is very important.
focus and also as a positive attitude. Positive, everything has positive.
Absolutely.
Positive.
Prabhu,
Yes, sir.
something on. Yes, whenever the demigods, they'll have problem, they'll go to Lord Brahma.
Mhm.
If they are not able to sort out the issue, they'll go to Lord Brahma. Even Lord Brahma also, if he is not able to sort it out, he'll go to the casual ocean and he prays to the Supreme Personality God, Mahavishnu. So, after hearing the plea, Mahavishnu, whether he'll be visible to all these demigods
Mhm.
or
So
Brahma
it's a-
can able to see.
It's a very good question that you asked. So I wanted to make sure about that. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, in this particular pastime, where Lord Brahma, they go to Lord Brahma to the top of Mount Sumeru, and from there, Lord Brahma says everybody came from eggs or embryos or seeds. So everything is coming from Lord Krishna, and then they go to Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, to Svetati, to the ocean, shores of ocean of milk. And at that time, after they prayed, Lord Brahma prays all these wonderful prayers. And when the Lord appears as the simultaneous rising of 1,000 suns, the demigods were not able to see as much, but they were able to see later on. They were able to see later on. So that is confirmed in this pastime when they offer the prayer, when the Lord appeared. And again, when Lord Brahma is praying, that just like milk is in the cow, just like water and grains are in the ground, in the land, as well as fire is in the wood, at that time the demigods are able to see the Lord. So initially it was too bright for them to see, but then eventually they were able to see the Lord in this particular pastime. There is also in some other pastime they are unable to see, but in this particular pastime, the demigods, whomsoever went there. So couple of names of demigods are given there, Varuna and Indra and other demigods. Definitely Lord Brahma went, Lord Shiva went. Either other demigods, how many of them went, it's not stated, but they were able to see the Lord after the initial glare. Initial glare they could not see, but eventually they were able to see it.
Because why I asked this question is, when Bali Chakri was extremely powerful, so they didn't have any other alternative. As usual, the process of all together they gone into the casual ocean, they prayed to Pusha Sutta and other things. So Srila Prabhupada there he explained saying that the way we communicate,
Right.
so he communicates through Paramatma. Nobody cannot see the Supreme Personality of God. He says, but I was wondering, see, he says he instructs what exactly they have to do through Brahma.
Through Brahma.
The
So-
hierarchy like manager and it goes
Exactly.
up like so Brahma. So Brahma in turn he explains, I
They
got
were
the
not-
information.
They were not able to hear.
They are not able to
So
hear.
same thing,
Yeah.
appearance of Lord Krishna when Bhumi Devi went with Lord Brahma and when they prayed to Lord Krishna to appear. At that time it is said Kshirodakashaya Vishnu again instructed Lord Brahma through his heart, and Lord Krishna and Srila Prabhupada explained this like a telephone.
There's a
Somebody
communication,
calls, I can only hear when the other person talks. None of you can hear. Like that, Brahma was the only one who was able to hear what was communicated by Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. Because all the Vedas also was imparted directly to his heart. So similarly, he gets the instructions that none of the demigods can hear, but he passes the message. But in this particular pastime, the demigods initially were unable to see because of this glare, effulgence from the 1,000 simultaneous rising of sun. But eventually they were able to see Kshirodakashaya Vishnu.
That means they are very fortunate.
Very
They are
fortunate.
very fortunate. Probably after the lifetime, they would have going back to God.
Because probably they had so many avatara purushas there, it's like Kurma Avataram.
So this pastime is just amazing pastime.
It's a mega event.
Huh?
To hear the glories of the Lord and now to sing Damodara Ashtakam as well as offer Geela. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Ananda Gauranga. This is wonderful veneration. Yesterday also is wonderful and given continuation of that. So we had
That's
Let us bring me water to everyone.
Hare Krishna, I can play and all of you can also.
I think we will finish the reading and then we will finish.
Whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was turning into butter, and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in front of his mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her who ran after him with greater speed. To the Supreme Lord Sri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisances.
seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he's crying and rubbing his eyes again and again. His eyes are filled with feet. Take your time. Okay, seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he's crying. No. He's crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear.
No, he's crying, no? The Lord is crying. Why you are laughing?
His eyes are filled with fear. The necklace is rolled around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a contract, shaking because of his quick beating due to cry. To this supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, whose belly is not bound with ropes, but his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances.
By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence, that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodara hundreds and hundreds of times.
O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of external life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon, which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bala Gopala in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this?
O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimbasri. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me.
O Supreme Lord, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me by showering your glance of mercy upon me. Deliver this ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes.
O Lord Damodar, just as the 2 sons of Kubera, Manigriva and Nala Kubera, are delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding motor, in the same way please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no other desire, and have no desire for any kind of liberation.
O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all my obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes.
Shirada Damodara ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai.
So, Tamil யார் வாசிக்க போறீங்க?
வைகாயன வியாசரால் 10 புராணத்தில் எடுக்கப்பட்டு நாரத முனிவர் மற்றும் சௌனக ரிஷியின் வியாடலில் சத்தியவிரத முனிவரால் பேசப்பட்டது. கார்த்திகை மாதத்தில் தாமோதரரை வழிபட்டு தாமோதர அஷ்டகம் என்று அறியப்படும் இந்த பாடலை தினமும் பாராயணம் செய்ய வேண்டும். சத்தியவிரத முனிவரால் பேசப்பட்ட இது தாமோதரை கவர்கிறது. நிரந்தர வாழ்க்கை, அறிவு மற்றும் ஆனந்தம் உடையவரும் ஒரு பிரகாசமான அளவுடன் இருப்பவரும் தனது தாய் மோரை கடைந்து அதில் உள்ள வெண்ணியை உரியில் வைக்க அந்த உரியில் உள்ள பானையை உடைத்து வெண்ணியை திருடி உண்ட முழுங்கக் கடமையை மேற்கண்ட குற்றத்திற்காக தாய் யசோதை இவனை முதலில் கட்டி போட முயல அவரிடம் இருந்து தப்பியோட இறுதியில் அதியோகத்தில் வந்த அன்னை யசோதையிடம் மாட்டிக்கொண்டீர்கள். முருகர் கடவுளாகிய தாமோதரா, எனது பணிவான வணக்கங்களை நான் உங்களுக்கு சமர்ப்பிக்கிறேன். தனது தாயின் கையில் உள்ள பிரம்பை கண்டு அழுது தனது தாமரை போன்ற கரங்களை கொண்டு 2 கண்களையும் கசக்குகிறார். கண்கள் பயத்தால் நிரம்ப 3 கூடுகள் கொண்ட வெண்சங்க போன்ற கழுத்தை சுற்றியுள்ள முத்துக்கள் பதித்த அட்டிகையானது வேகமாக அவர் மூச்சை விட்டு அழும்போது அங்குமிங்கும் அவரது கழுத்தில் சுழல்கிறது. இத்தகைய முருகன் கடவுள் ஸ்ரீ தாமோதரன் அன்னை யசோதையின் கயிற்றால் என்றால் அவரின் அன்பினாலேயே கட்டப்பட்ட பணிவான வணக்கங்களை பற்றிக்கிறேன்.
இதே போல எனது குழந்தை பருவ லீலைகளால் கோகுலவாசிகளை பேரானந்த கடலில் அடிக்கின்றார். அச்சம், மரியாதை போன்ற எண்ணங்களுக்கெல்லாம் அப்பாற்பட்ட புனித அன்பு நட்பு அவரை இதயத்தில் ஏற்றுக்கொண்டவர்களாலேயே அவர் ஜெயிக்கப்படுகின்றார். தனது கம்பீரமான கர்மங்களை அறிந்து மனம் லைக் என்ற கர்த்தருக்கு மட்டுமே அவர் தன்னை வெளிப்படுத்துகின்றார். மிக உயர்ந்த அன்போடு மீண்டும் மீண்டும் எனது மலிவான வணக்கங்களை நூற்றுக்கணக்கான முறை பகவான் தாமோதரனுக்கு சமர்ப்பிக்கின்றோம்.
ஓ பகவானே, அனைத்து வகையான வரங்களை அளிக்கக்கூடியவராக இருந்தாலும் அருபமான விடுதலையோ நிரந்தர வாழ்க்கையோ கொண்ட வைகுண்ட லோகத்திற்கான விடுதலையோ எனக்கு வேண்டாம். ஓ பிரபுவே, விருந்தாவனத்தில் உள்ள உமது பாலகோபாலனான உருவத்தையே என் மனதில் பதிய வைக்க நான் விரும்புகிறேன். இதற்கு மேல் எந்த வரத்தை வாங்கி என்ன பிரயோஜனம்?
ஓ பிரபு, தாமரையை போன்ற உங்களுடைய முகமானது கருகருவென்ற மிருதுவான முடி கொத்துகளினால் குழுப்படும் பொழுது அன்னை யசோதாவின் மாறி மாறி முத்தமிடப்படுகிறது. உங்களுடைய உதடுகள் கோவை பழம் போல் சிவந்துள்ளது. இத்தகைய அழகான உங்கள் முகம் எப்பொழுதுமே எனது மனதில் தோன்றுவதாக. ஆயிரக்கணக்கான பிற எந்த நன்மலிகளினாலும் எனக்கு ஒரு பிரயோஜனமும் இல்லை.
ஒருமுதற் கடவுளே, உமக்கு எனது வணக்கங்கள். ஓ தாமோதரா, ஆனந்தா, ஓ விஷ்ணு, ஓ பிரபு, என்மேல் கருணை காட்டும். உமது கருணையை என்மேல் பொழிவதன் மூலம் பரந்த துன்பக்கடலில் மூழ்கியுள்ள ஏழை முட்டாளாகி எனது கண்களுக்கு நீர் காத்துகிறவன்.
ஓம் பகவான் தாமோதரா, குபேரனுடைய 2 மகன்களான மணிக்கீரிவன் நலகூவரன் நாரமுனிவரின் சாபத்திலிருந்து விடுவிக்கப்பட்டு வர உரலோடு கட்டப்பட்ட உமது குழந்தை பருவத்தினால் கவரப்பட்டு மிக உயர்ந்த பக்தர்களானார்கள். இதே போல உமது பிரேம பக்தி எனக்கு கொடும். இதற்காகவே நான் காத்திருக்கின்றேன். வேறு எவ்வித விடுதலையும் எனக்கு ஆசை இல்லை.
உமது வயிற்றை கட்டுகின்ற பளபளப்பான முதலில் உன்னுடைய மரியாதை சிறந்த வணக்கங்கள். முழு பிரபஞ்சத்திற்கும் இருப்பிடமாகிய உன்னுடைய வயிற்றுக்கும் உமக்கு மிகவும் பிரியமான ஸ்ரீமதி ராதாராணிக்கும் பலவேளா லீலைகள் புரியும் முழுமுதற் கடவுளாகிய உமக்கும் எனது மரியாதை கலந்த வணக்கங்களை சாஷ்டாங்கமாக சமர்ப்பிக்கிறேன்.
Hare Krishna. As Ananda Gauranga Prabhu was explaining about the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Mahavishnu, he showed his form. I will read this. Lord Brahma, this capital is really nice, wonderful. Yes, go ahead. Lord Brahma, along with Lord Shiva, saw the crystal clear personal beauty of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose blackish body resembles a Merkata gem, whose eyes are reddish like the depths of the lotus, who is dressed with a garment that are yellow like a molten gold, and whose entire body is attractively decorated. They saw his beautiful smiling lotus-like face, crowned by a helmet bedecked with valuable jewels. The Lord has attractive eyebrows, and his cheeks are adorned with earrings. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva saw the belt on the Lord's waist, the bangles on his arms, the necklace on his chest, and the ankle belts on his legs. The Lord is bedecked with a flower garland. His neck is decorated with the Kaustuba gem, and he carries with him the goddess of fortune, and his personal weapons like this club. When Lord Brahma along with Lord Shiva and other demigods thus saw the form of the Lord, they all immediately fell to the ground, offering their obeisances. So, in this, an authoritative scripture says, the highest Jivi, Lord Brahma, the Lord Shiva, all along with all other demigods, they saw the Mahavishnu face to face. It's a very rare. It's very difficult to see. Probably all from Lord Brahma, down the line, all demigods, they all got back to Godhead. Now, in addition to this morning, we heard a wonderful nectarian lecture by Her Grace Prema Manjari Devidasi. She's a doctor and she's a disciple of Radhanath Maharaj. And fantastic, amazing it is. And in that, one particular thing, in connection with this, I would like to share with everybody. Srila Prabhupada, before coming to the Western country, he initiated one individual person in Jhansi in India. His name is, what is his name? Prabhakar Mishra. His name is Prabhakar Mishra. Acharya Prabhakar Mishra. So,
First disciple of Prabhupada.
he is the first disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So, there was one occasion in Jhansi, they celebrated Krishna Janmashtami. So, Prabhupada, under his guidance, the whole Janmashtami was taking place. So, Janmashtami, everything is over, got over, probably midnight, as usual, whenever we have a midnight Mangalarti and everything. So, everybody has gone back home, and temple was closed probably at 1:30, and everybody they gone back to the bed. At 2:30, something like 2:30 to 3 o'clock in the morning, early morning it is, and everybody is fast asleep because everybody is tired. And this Prabhu, Prabhakar Mishra Prabhu, he is able to hear the loud noise of Mridanga, and dancing. And with the curiosity, he came out and saw Prabhupada's room is open. So he came out and saw the temple hall, and Prabhupada alone, he was dancing, he's crying, he's playing a Mridanga so nicely, it's continuous, it is a non-stop it is. And looking at the situation, was really shocked. Then later on, he asked Srila Prabhupada, I saw you. You had a garland, that's a Kadamba flower garland, from neck to almost to the toe. It's such a big garland. And you are dancing, you are playing Mridanga continuously. I'm so curious to ask you, who gave you that garland? And Prabhupada, he kept numb, he didn't answer anything. And his disciple was frequently asking the same question. Then Prabhupada, he closed his eyes, he says, when I was chanting, when I was glorifying Krishna, I'm totally in trance. This is Lord Krishna himself who has given this. I saw him. When I tried to touch his lotus feet, he disappeared. Look at this. This is the same thing when demigods are able to see that Srila Prabhupada, the chief Senadipati of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who gave it, he is not an ordinary person.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya.
विनाशकारी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, भक्त शिरोमणि भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे।
So now we'll cut the birthday cake. Recently Kajanan's birthday, 16th birthday. Today, so we'll call upon Kajanan and we'll cut the cake.
Kajanan உடனடியாக நிலையத்துக்கு வரும்.
Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to Kajanan. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Rama to you. Hare Rama to you. Hare Rama dear Kajanan. Hare Rama to you. May Krishna bless you dear. May Krishna bless you dear. May Krishna bless you dear Gajanan. Hare Krishna to you. Take birth again. May you never take birth again. May you never take birth again in this material world.
That's do you have a candle?
Okay, continue singing.
Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to Hare Rama dear Kajanan. Hare Rama to you. May you never take birth again. May you never take birth again. May you never take birth again in this material world.
It's also his birthday.
So the Gajanan's 16th birthday actually on the 5th of November, the same day my birthday too, yes? And so in front of everyone, Gajanan is going to give one birthday present for us. Yes, this is a birthday present from their parents and all the visitors. So he's going to give. He's going to announce publicly that he's going to do 2 rounds from today onwards.
When he's already chanting more than that, what do you say?
No, 2 means if he's chanting 5 rounds, then add 2
Additional
more.
2.
Yes.
Okay.
So how many rounds you are chanting? One. So he has to chant now 3 rounds. So he's going to chant increase 2 rounds more. So give him a big applause.
They are one united family. He's also committing on behalf of other members of the family the same thing.
Yes. So now Anna is going to chant and Akka is Akka? Yes, Akka. Akka and Tambi Tangai. Elloru avali. Okay.
Nothing.
Huh? Okay, thank you. That's wonderful. So okay, so you also do chanting. Yes, in front of the people.
Hare Krishna.
Come, Shiva.
You teach him first. He wants to give it to mom first.
Kati.
What about me? Okay, who's next?
Yeah, you're
So
next.
for Mataji, there are some jasmine garlands. So இதெல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு
You can wear it when you go to school tomorrow.
Why?
Maybe last time we also get off.
He forget in the temple game itself.
Give another. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Welcome.